what they did to him.
Call my sister in Florida. Don't do this. What are you doing? Oh my God! What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back like you told. Put your hands.
What are you doing? Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh, please.
Put your hands.
Doing anything. Oh my God.
3 cops. That was the only way to get him to comply? 3 cops. You know why he's screaming like that? His wrist is broken, badly, and you'll see it for yourself. Shortly after, another officer who Smith was initially talking to, okay, this officer tells, I can't believe this happened, this officer who's there, who's talking to Antonio Smith, after they do this to Smith, this other officer says to them, hey, by the way, that's the wrong man. Listen.
That's him? No, that's the other guy. The other guy is over there. They pointed out 2 different people. Okay. They got the guy with a warrant. This guy, I had just got contact with him. I thought this was one with a warrant. No, that's why I was trying to. No, because there's 2 different people. That's why I was trying to figure out if I had missed something. He told him to put his hands behind his back. They didn't tell me something. I thought he was the one with the warrant.
Look, whether he was the one with the warrant or he wasn't, they've got to be able to do their job better than this. We are better than this. The police chief admits there was some miscommunication during radio traffic. Yeah, no kidding. Antonio Smith joins us now for an exclusive interview. He's joined by his attorney, Nathaniel Hoggebrook. Counselor, thank you very much for being with us. Antonio, we were talking a little bit about what you're dealing with before the interview. Thank you for having the strength and commitment to do this, Antonio. I know you're scared. I know you're worried about this. I know you're embarrassed. I know you're in pain. And just do me this one favor. Please hold up your left hand and show it the way you were showing it to me. All right. Now, everybody can see. You see that lump on the outside of his wrist? He broke his wrist. Antonio, was your wrist like that before this happened that day?
No, it wasn't supposed to be just like.
Right. All right. That was in February. He broke his wrist, and he broke his wrist because the way they threw him on the ground. Antonio, we pick up midstream there. You're on like the side of the road. What happened? How'd you get in that situation? You can put your hand down. Thank you very much, my friend. What happened?
Actually, I was coming back from the store, waiting for my sister to send me some money, like she always do. And I have a habit because I did security like years ago, and I have a habit of like watching my surroundings and just talking to myself. And then I happened to look back and I saw an officer car pull up. I was like, oh God, what are they doing now? What are they doing now? So I just stood there, and the one that came out, which was a black fellow, a black officer, came up, and he was kind of he was kind of like jittery, like jumpy, like, okay, where's the rest of them? But okay, so I say, what's going on? I say, I haven't done anything. You can watch, go back and watch the camera, because I had already picked what was going on, because they was watching me. And plus, I don't know what else was going on. But anyways, he stopped me, and we did the procedure of the ID and everything. And all of a sudden,
I told them what I was doing.
Oasis Songs right here next to the El Rodeo.
I told them what I was doing. I was waiting for.
Pretty much.
So you're saying to him, I was waiting for money from my sister. I wasn't panhandling. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And and then you give him your ID. Then what happens?
So he runs it down. So all of a sudden, I happened to glare back, and I saw a couple more running. I don't know how it went, but a couple more running, and I kind of got terrified. I said to myself, oh my God, it's one of these days where they're gonna probably arrest me and take me off and probably won't find me anymore. That's the thoughts that I had, because I know how the law system there is. The times that I have called and needed them, and the laughs that they gave me, and the situations that I was going through. So at that time, I thought, well, maybe this is one of the moments where they arrest me and they take me off and they won't find me. That's the moment that I portrayed at that time. But
So right or wrong, you were scared of what was
yeah,
going to happen.
I was scared. Yeah.
And when they told you, put your hands behind your back, we all know when the officers tell you something, you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
do it because?
I was like in shock because what have I done? I knew I hadn't done anything, so I was more in shock and like, what is going on and why is this going on? Because I know I haven't done anything, and the procedures just wasn't right. If you get me, the procedures wasn't right, and everything wasn't just like where it's supposed to be. Because I know I hadn't done anything.
Yes. The way, in reading your account of this, it seems to me, tell me if I'm wrong, please. Don't worry about it being on TV. We want to get things straight. That you seemed like the farther down the road this went, the worse it was going to get for you. And that's why you were a little resistant to comply in the beginning, because you felt once you did that, it was only going to get worse. Is that true?
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was going to get worse. Well, I thought I was going to get pinned for something that I didn't do. It was one of those moments where, okay, something's going down that I'm going to get stuck with that I hadn't even done.
Right.
So it's pretty much what you're saying.
And then the officer comes up and says, hey, by the way, it's the other guy who's got the felony warrant. And the
I was like, oh.
And the cop is like, oh, boy, oh, I thought it was him. Jeez.
Yeah.
Then how did they change toward you after that?
Actually, I had forgave them when they done it, but walking up the road and I'm far away from home, the pain just insists in like getting like worse and worse. And
well, but didn't they know about
like,
your wrist? Didn't they offer to get you medical treatment or take you to the hospital?
Yeah, I didn't know that it was going to be broken, or either I thought I was going to be able to go through it. But I thought maybe it's just sprung or whatever. But
so they offered to get you help and you said you didn't want it?
No, they wanted to give me help. They wanted to give me a ride to the hospital. They offered me help to go get to the hospital, but I told them maybe it's just a little sprung or something like that, you know. Well, I thought maybe it was sprung. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Did they apologize?
They were. Yeah, they apologized, but I told them I forgive you. We laughed about it actually.
Well, if you forgave them, but now you're going to sue, why?
Let your lawyer answer that.
I'll let my lawyer answer that.
Go ahead, Counselor. Obviously, forgiveness and getting legal remedies can go hand in hand. I don't mean to suggest otherwise. But what is your legal take on the situation from your client's perspective?
Well, from his perspective, as you've characterized this, Chris, this officer basically sneaks up on my client, then dumps him to the ground, and as the video shows, it's the wrong person. There was no reason for this particular officer to even to cause the case or this situation to escalate to the point that it did. The first officer, as the video shows, is having a pretty normal conversation with Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith complied with all of his directives, provided his ID, denied the situation of being the suspicious person. And all of a sudden, you have another officer who comes on the scene and just takes over. He doesn't identify himself as an officer, doesn't say, hey, what's going on? Is this the person with the felony warrants? And let me correct that part, because there were no felony warrants against anyone. The other gentleman had misdemeanor warrants for shoplifting.
Understood.
As well as traffic offenses.
Understood. Whatever it was, it didn't belong on the record of your client, Antonio Smith. Counselor, I get it.
Not.
I get it. I understand. I wanted everybody else to understand it as well. Antonio, I know you forgive them, but I also know that you are still very much haunted by what happened. We will stay on the story, and I appreciate you having the bravery to come forward and talk to us